Good morning all, hope you're doing well. We've got the BOE today and we've got NFP tomorrow, so we have to bear that in mind. We've got a huge risk event today if you're trading the pound and a huge risk event tomorrow in the NFP, which is going to affect your dollar pairs obviously and risk appetite as well. We're really pumped on the technical, so it could theoretically be a good time to take profit because we're looking to buy when this is nice and low, and then we're looking to de-risk when we get nice and high. We can't get much more higher than that really. The reason why we haven't got a perfect score is because we're just waiting on Tesla and we're waiting on the FTSE. Okay, but if they then to go green, then we're going to have 100 score, which is going to be really bullish. But like I say, it could be a good time to take some risk off, take some profit. Big picture is that they're net long, but they're reducing that long bias over time. Okay, so it's quite a big move over the last 24 hours, and I think tomorrow is going to be a similar thing. And then probably by Monday, Tuesday, we'll be green on that sell, and that'll tell us that the herd are trapped, which would be perfectly normal and typical behaviour. So QDB scores, we set that to Z to A, AC, GC, EC. So they're at the top. So we've got a bit of CAD weakness. I think there was some stuff out from Canada that they had some data out that confirmed a recession, a technical recession in Canada. I have to read up a bit about that. I just saw something on Twitter. They had some data. It might have been the GDP or something, I'm not sure. But we've got a bit of weakness in the CAD. And we've got EA, CAD Swiss and GA at the bottom. And these are negatives, that's fine. That agrees with the scoring. And they're positive, which agrees with the scoring, but perhaps maybe GC could do a bit better, but we've got the Bank of England tomorrow. Okay, robot, we took profit on the UJ. We had 100 pip TP, so that's really good. Now we've got some risk off trades here, so maybe if we went risk off it would be good, but we'll have to wait and see. If these go badly, we'll have to put in a fundamental check into the robot, which will be done on the weekend. So remember, we're still testing, we're still using demo account. Don't go live because we're still fine-tuning the process, and it might be that we need a fundamental risk on or risk off check for the robot. For example, if we're going to be pumping on risk, it doesn't really make much sense to be buying that particular currency pair, nor would it make sense to sell NU, but we'll see how these go. If they go badly, we'll put in that check on the weekend, and then we'll just see how we go. So that's the robot taken care of. We did 100 pips on UJ, fantastic, and that was a really good entry as well. It was such a good entry. There we go. Yeah, so it's 151, and we got a 150. Yeah, about 100 pips there. Yeah, so it's a nice move. Got a long way to go before we get the support. Okay, so let's talk about S&P and Dow and DAX. This is DAX, so a little bit of caution because they're going along ever so slightly. So we might get the risky sell, and then we'll create a box, a punishment zone, like a supply. If they continue to go long, this might be a supply here. So we have to be careful here with DAX, okay, because it's ticking higher. S&P. It's going to be a short video today. I didn't sleep at all well. I'll get woken up by my cat, so it's quite annoying. Sideways there, but you can see how they're selling that over time. All right, so it's obviously quite bullish. These candles are quite tricky. It does look, from a technical view, it's quite bearish, but that might be just like a ruse, or just for them to convince them to sell. And they sold again here, boom, and then they sold again, boom. They get really punished every time. Slightly sideways at S&P and Dow Jones. So yeah, sold. They went long, so we know that's that move there. They sold, pump. They went long, dump, and sideways, and then they sold. And then that's that, but we're just sideways here. Potentially they might sell it or they might buy it. You just got to be careful, and it'd be eyes on NFP if you're trading indices. Probably good for a scalp maybe, but you've got to be careful tomorrow. Gold. This was the big stop loss cluster, but I still think we got more room to downside. But however, they are selling it, so because they're selling it, we can probably do okay. If they start going long, we'll get to our our target, 1950 target, and all those people who bought up 2000 could be a bit of a rip. But we'll have to see what happens with the sentiment. And do note that the VIX got really crushed. It was an 18% drop over the last 5 days, so it's telling us that things are calming down in the geopolitics. And if gold is moving because of fundamentals, it's pumping because of that, it can probably dump because of that as well. So we've got to remember that. And also don't forget the reason why this was pumping. It was a combination of fundamental and sentiment. That order book video that I made, it's worth watching, and it looked like it was a good time to potentially sell, because we went into weekly supply, which you would have seen on the Discord and Telegram. So that's today's video. I might go back to bed actually. I've had an awful sleep, and I'll speak to you guys soon, and trade safely.